Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us for another episode of FPL Fix. We have to kick this episode off by talking about the legend that is Micky Van de Ven, following his massive 23-point haul last week, which was the 6th highest score ever recorded by a defender in FPL. Patrick, you started Van de Ven. That means you're either a casual manager or have no idea how to play the game, according to some content creators.
Oh my god, funny you should say that, because James, you started Van de Ven. That must mean you're either a casual manager or have no idea how to play the game either, right?
Okay, that's enough fun for now. In this episode, we'll cover the most transferred players, teams and players to target, and we'll finish off with our team reveals, and for one of us, the wildcard chip is active.
But first, let's start off with a quick recap on how our team's performing game week 9. And James, you got big green arrow, so why don't you start things off?
Thanks mate, yeah, what a crazy game week. Bowen grabbed an assist in the early kickoff and Gabriel picked up another 9-pointer, but with just one game to go, I was sitting on 27 points, a nasty red arrow and feeling pretty dejected with just 2 left to play. Then came the Spurs vs Everton game and everything changed. Van de Ven scored 2 goals in the first half, picked up bonus points and DEFCON for an unbelievable 23-point haul. Porro assisted one of the goals, helped himself to bonus points in the process, and also got the clean sheet for 11 points. 34 points between the two defenders outscored all my other 9 players combined, and turned my game week from a big red arrow to a solid green, pushing me firmly back inside the top 1 million. How did you get on, mate?
Mine was pretty similar in terms of outcome. I had 31 points going into the Spurs games, with returns from Raya, Guehi and Bowen. Kudos got a pre-assist but no real points for his efforts. But Van de Ven's ridiculous display meant I picked up 26 points between the two and flipped the script from a red arrow to a big green arrow. So yeah, really nice result there. Both of us well above the average, and Micky Van de Ven definitely earned a slot on a wall of fame after his efforts.
Alright, so on to game week 10 now, and we'll start with the most transferred players. Starting with the players being moved out, and João Pedro is the most sold player by a mile. He's registered 0 shots on target in his last 7 games, and even with the great fixtures, if he's not going to shoot, then he's not going to score. He's nearly had more sales than the rest of the top 5 put together.
3 midfielders next. Reinders, whose minutes have gone down lately with City's midfield option coming back. Salah, who did score last time out, but he's not good value for money anymore. And Kudos, who still passes the eye test, but the good fixtures have completely gone now for Spurs. Isak's last on the list. He's not looked good at all, and I think he's still got a knock, so Ekitike will probably be the starting striker at the weekend.
Okay, moving on to the players being transferred in, and well clear at the top is Brian Mbeumo. He's moved into 2nd place for points among all midfielders in the game now. He's looking back to his best again, now that he's settled into the Man United team, which is building momentum nicely lately.
The next 3 on the list are forwards and are most likely replacements for João Pedro. Mateta is top, and no surprise to see that. He's getting so many chances and Palace are looking really strong at the moment. Thiago has been in good form, but Brentford's fixtures make me a bit cautious. Watermide, on the other hand, is still a differential with relatively few transfers in, and I think he could be a great pick for the next few game weeks.
Last on the list is Gabriel, and he's been so consistent lately. Some people are even considering captaining him this week. So those are the popular moves, but like we always say, just because they're popular doesn't mean they are the best picks. So let's take a look at the teams and players to target and see if there's any crossover.
So the teams on our radar this week are Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea and Crystal Palace.
Yeah, plenty of options from those teams across all positions and price brackets. Starting in goal, and it's the same 2 from last time, Pope and Raya being the top 2 candidates. Raya has the better fixtures, but is expensive and takes up a valuable Arsenal spot.
Yeah, but most managers won't be making a goalkeeper transfer, so let's move on to the good bits. In defence is still Gabriel at the top. He's been incredible lately, but he's still very expensive at 6.5 mil. If you want a cheaper alternative from the Arsenal defence, then Timber looks the best of the rest, but he's only 0.4 cheaper.
Munoz is next on the list, and his attacking output continues to be unmatched. He's a brilliant option at 5.7 million, and if you did want a cheaper alternative from Palace, then Guehi or Lacroix look solid options around the 5 million mark, because there's some doubts around the fitness of Richards.
Yeah, and Dan Burn finishes off the list. He's been the best Newcastle defender this season, his minutes seem nailed, and he's 5.1 mil, so shouldn't be hard to fit in your team.
Moving on to the midfield, and Saka is still the top pick here. He was suffering from illness, so was subbed off early last week against Crystal Palace, but he did get a few more minutes and scored a goal from open play last night when Arsenal knocked Brighton out of the cup. After Saka is Ismail Assar. He scored twice yesterday and got an early rest, so should be raring to go this weekend, and at only 6.5 million he should be a great asset. The last player on this list is Caicedo. He's done well for points so far, has massive DEFCON credentials, and for under 6 million could be great value with Chelsea's upcoming fixtures.
Looking at the striker options, and Haaland remains top, but almost everyone should own him by now. Watermada is next, another headed goal yesterday, and with West Ham's weakness from crosses, he's got a great chance to deliver again. Rounding off the list is Mateta. While I think Gyökeres has better short-term fixtures, Mateta has better form, and our side Haaland is getting more big chances than anyone else in the league, so he should come good again this week. Now that we've seen the players to target, let's have a look at how our teams line up for Game Week 10 with our team reveals. James, why don't you start things off?
Okay, well the Palace result last night has caused havoc with the fixtures, so I have been struggling with this decision, but I've hit the wildcard button, and now it's active, I'm actually really confident with the team. In goal, I'm starting Roths, who's been the top scoring keeper this season, and has a decent fixture up against Everton. Kelleher is my other goalie, but I can't play him this week against my 3 Palace assets. On to defence, and I'm playing a back 3 this week. Munel's at home to Brentford, and the Arsenal double up of Calafiori and Gabriel, who should both be solid. Truffert and Hartman are my other new defensive signings, but they're on the bench this week. My midfield is really strong, with Saka, Sarr, Semenyo and Josh King starting, and Caicedo on the bench. I like the potential from King this week against Wolves, so it's probably the only time he'll feature for me, but he's a great enabler because of his price point. Up front, and Haaland is going nowhere, and he's my captain again this week. Mateta up against Brentford, and Watermada, who could run riot against West Ham with his aerial ability. What do you think, mate, and how does your team line up this week?
No, I really like it. I think it's aggressive and hopefully can climb up further up the ranks. I'm definitely kinda jealous. My team doesn't look quite as fresh. I still got quite a few cheeky players that could do well. I'm starting with Raya in goal, who should do well against Burnley this week. In defence I've got a back 3 of Guehi, who's been solid lately, Van de Ven after his huge score last time out, and Dan Burn, who's another strong option. I'm playing 5 in midfield again, with Gordon away to West Ham, who's really due a goal or two. I can't believe he hasn't picked up more points lately. Semenyo, who should get chances on a counter against City, Saka against Burnley, Enzo versus Spurs, and I do have Kudos in my team, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to move him to Sarr. That still might happen before the deadline. Up front, I'm playing Strand Larsen, who scored last time out and has a decent fixture against Fulham. And lastly, the big Norwegian, who will have their armband again this week. And that's all for this episode. Give the video a like and hit subscribe if you enjoy the content.
Yeah, and follow us on X at Weekend Fix for last minute information ahead of Saturday's deadline.
Thanks for watching, good luck this weekend, and we'll see you next time with hopefully another couple of green arrows.